the Sports Renegades podcast on SportsTownChicago.com.
To say, I don't think I've played this song before.
I was going to say, I like it.
So do I. I actually like it.
I like this intro, but yeah, I don't think we've ever played it before. Is it in our Sports Renegades folder?
This is our folder. I didn't.
Wow.
I know I've never played this one before. I've never digged like a show open like this one. That one, and then our Ace Hood, another statistic. That one's like our signature one.
Right. Yes.
This I don't think I've ever played. What's this one called? Snow Patrol.
Who sings it? Any idea?
Snow Patrol.
Oh, it's Snow Patrol. That's the same band that sings Chasing Cars. I think they were pretty popular back like in 07.
Man, that was a great show open, man.
That was. I liked it. I like this song now.
I almost want to go to break it just to do it again. All right.
Yeah, it was hidden in there somewhere, I guess.
Yeah, it was hidden in there so far. I haven't been able to find it for the year and a half I've been doing this show. All right. We were just talking about Cubs and Sox spring training, and they assigned Chris Bryant the number 76.
Okay.
So I think that's a good indication he will not be making the team.
Right, yeah. I wouldn't see a number that high being in the starting Cubs team, but you never know, I guess.
Maybe if he hits a home run in every single at bat, that'll change.
Yeah, well, that's true. He'd probably be up a lot sooner in a couple weeks instead of a month. Yeah, so how about the NL West and the AL West? I mean, that is just all up for grabs, pretty much.
It seems like a lot of divisions after this offseason, a lot of them are up for grabs. You don't really know who's going to win what because, I mean, before the offseason, you just probably thought that the NL West would just be between the Dodgers and the Giants again, and then the Padres had a transformation.
Yeah, the Padres did really well, and they sort of took the place of the Giants, where now you're sort of thinking it's probably between the Dodgers and Padres for that division. Also, the fact that now we have an odd year coming up, so the Giants might not be in it. They only do well in even-numbered years.
Yeah, that is
World
the thing.
Series,
that
no
is the
postseason.
thing.
World Series, no postseason. World Series, and now this year, I guess they're thinking no postseason.
I mean, the thing is, it keeps happening. It keeps happening.
They might as well just tool up for 2016.
Yeah, I mean, they're probably already thinking about the 2016 offseason, except if you look at the potential free agent class after this upcoming season,
Jordan Zimmerman,
David Price,
Matt Latos,
Johnny Cueto, and we were talking
Yeah.
before the break. Johnny Cueto wants $300 million,
which I mean nobody gets.
The Yankees or Dodgers might give it to him, except you.
Scherzer didn't get that. He got what 210.
210, yeah, and you know the Reds can't afford that.
No, not a chance. Nobody can really afford that. I mean, the Yankees could, and the Dodgers, I guess, could probably if they tried. But, Johnny Cueto, he's no Scherzer.
Yeah, I mean, I'd take Scherzer over him.
I would take Scherzer over him,
because,
too.
I mean, another thing, remember, it wasn't not last year. The year before, he made like 10 starts because he had like 3 different disabled list trips with the same shoulder injury. And then last year,
he ruined it for the Cincinnati Reds in the postseason when they played that game against the Pirates, and they were all chanting Cueto.
Oh yeah, I mean, the Reds really blew that one. Although
it was pretty much Johnny Cueto's fault.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that Reds fans enjoyed watching Madison Bumgarner go to work in that one-game playoff against the Pirates.
Yeah, he just, Madison Bumgarner, he deserves all the money he can get.
I almost feel bad for him that he signed that small extension.
Yeah, although I think he wants to be in San Francisco, which I can't blame him.
The fans, the thing is,
there.
the fans in San Francisco, they love their players. Like, that's why the one thing about Sandoval leaving, I don't know if I said this, if it was you I was talking to about this, where if Sandoval had a rough April or a rough, even when he had his rough seasons, he was never getting booed at all by the San Francisco fans. Where in Boston, if he bats 150 in April, he's gonna be booed right out of town.
Yeah, he's gonna hear it for sure. Same thing with Hanley, because Hanley's gonna struggle, and they're not gonna like that.
And did you see how big Sandoval looks? I mean, he's got like a huge gut like hanging out of his stomach.
I was watching something, and they were saying on MLB Network last night, it seems like Pablo Sandoval, like every year, like he goes back to the Dominican or where I forget where he's from. I think he's from the Dominican Republic somewhere, but he always, he stays there during the off season, has some good Spanish food. Then he comes up for spring training every year, and he looks pretty fat. But I mean, he seems to always be more in shape as the season starts, and then of course he always ends up being really well, doing really well in the late months of the season.
I mean, yeah, that's the thing, except, like, it doesn't matter how good he does in the late months of the season. If he bats 150 in April, these Boston fans are going to make sure that that he knows what they think of him, and they will do that. You can't
let a team like Toronto, start off really well, because they're supposed to win this division. At least that's what a lot of people are saying, that Toronto's probably going to win the AL East.
Right, I mean,
which will be their first postseason appearance since '93.
Right, I mean, they kind of have to. I mean, the last time they went and signed all these guys, traded for all these guys, they had a horrible year. So
yeah, they did.
Now they go and get a bunch more guys, and you'd think that they'd want to get something going.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it for Toronto, before we move back to the West, a lot of it has to do with if Mark Burley and R.A. Dickey are going to be good, because R.A. Dickey has not really been that good since 2012. I think it was 2012, not 2013.
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't been like atrocious like Justin Verlander bad.
No,
except he hasn't been worthy of what they gave up for him in the contract.
Right. I mean, he's not worthy to be one of their best people. And Mark Burley hasn't done that well. He's done okay. He hasn't done that well though. And then I mean, after that, you got some young guys like that. Marcus Stroman, he's in their rotation, and there's somebody else whose name is escaping me. He's pretty good too. So I mean,
Aaron Sanchez.
Yeah, they have a pretty good 4 or 5 guys that can do pretty well, and of course their offense should be good with Jose Bautista and Edwin Encarnacion.
Right, and then trading for Josh Donaldson too.
Josh Donaldson. I mean, and that was not a very pricey contract either.
No, they didn't. They just gave up a depth of prospects. They didn't give up like elite ones, and then they signed Russell Martin to that mega deal, which was kind of questionable. Except I mean, they know they need to go all in. Finally.
It's questionable, but they definitely needed a catcher, and they got somebody back there who can anchor the pitching, hopefully help out the starting pitching that's been starting to struggle with Burley and Dickey.
Right. I mean, Burley's been pretty good. I mean, he's pitched 200 innings a year, except his salary making over $20 million. I'm not sure Mark Burley's worth that.
Well, he threw a perfect game, so he's worth everything.
Hey, as a pitcher, he's accomplished 4 things. Or as a starting pitcher.
No-hitter and perfect game.
No-hitter, a perfect game. He hit a home run.
Yes.
And he won a World Series.
Yeah, he hit a home run in Milwaukee.
Yeah, that was the Sunday game of that series.
That's, he's pretty much done everything that he can do, and he's got a World Series. So.
And he got a save in Game 3 of the World Series. His only save.
That's right, he did. Game 3, that was the game where that guy hit a home run in like the 15th, 16th inning.
Jeff Blum in the 14th inning.
Jeff Blum. Who would have thought he would come up big?
His only at bat in the World Series.
Right. And then, of course, who would have thought Scott Podsednik, of all people, would... I mean, who would have thought he would have hit
a walk-off homer?
He would have hit a walk-off home run.
Off of Brad Lidge.
Yeah, and then Paul Konerko with the grand slam. But, we'll have to see what Toronto does, because they, they have high expectations. And anytime they have any expectations, they never seem to do very well. So.
Right, and now's the time. I mean, Boston, you don't really know how they're going to do coming off of a subpar, or actually a horrible season, not just subpar. The Orioles took massive hits, losing Nelson Cruz and Nick Markakis to free agency, and Cruz is being replaced by Alejandro Diaza. So, I mean, that doesn't make you feel good.
Although he did play really well when he came to Baltimore.
He did. I think he batted .380 in those couple months.
But, that's an awful, awful replacement. I feel bad. Yeah. And I'm not so sure about Baltimore's young guys like Scope and Shoop and all the other people that they have. I mean... I don't think they're going to be that good this year. Although they do have Matt Wieters, who's going to be back.
Yeah, he's going to DH through spring training and probably the first month of the season.
And they still have Adam Jones, and Chris Davis is going to be back. So
who knows what to expect out of Chris Davis? Are you going to?
Right.
You're probably not going to get the 285, 53 home run guy from a couple of years ago. Again, I think reasonable, maybe 250 to 265 average, 30 home runs.
Yeah, I'd say so.
A lot of strikeouts. That's just kind of the player he is. I don't think he's the 190 hitter he was last year.
So now about the West, are we saying, it's probably going to be down to the San Diego Padres and the Dodgers, because Arizona and Colorado don't really have a chance.
Yeah, I think it's going to be the Dodgers again. Andrew Friedman had a great offseason after coming over from Tampa Bay. It was actually remarkable, the turnaround that he made. Like, when he took over, I don't think anyone expected that Jimmy Rollins and Howie Kendrick would be their middle infielders.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Actually, I don't think anyone thought that. I don't even think the Angels thought they'd be trading Howie Kendrick, except the only reason they did that was because they got such a good young top prospect in Andrew Heaney, a left-handed starting pitcher, and they need starting pitching with.
Yes,
they don't know
do.
how long Garrett Richards will be out for with that knee injury. Tyler Skaggs is out for the whole season with Tommy John surgery.
Yeah.
Jared Weaver's not getting any younger. C.J. Wilson's not getting any younger. They got a young, cost-controlled, left-handed pitcher that could be an ace.
Yeah, and they, that's the one flaw that the Angels have is their pitching. Their offense is pretty solid. Although I guess that sort of depends on Albert Pujols and Josh Hamilton. Which
right, yeah, that offense is not young.
They're really upset about that Josh Hamilton deal right about now.
Yeah, did you hear Jurickson? You know who Jurickson Profar is, right?
Yeah, he was on Texas, right?
Yeah, he was the #1 prospect in baseball 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. Last year, he missed the entire season with a shoulder injury. He was getting ready to be prepared for this year. Just had shoulder surgery again and is going to be missed the entire season again.
Is it the same shoulder?
I believe so, because he was rehabbing and needed another surgery. Except they were saying that he should have had it in October so he'd be ready for the start of the season. And the same thing with Josh Hamilton. He should have had his early in the offseason so he'd be ready for spring training in the regular season. Except I guess when you make $25 million a year, you can just afford to rehab and do nothing for a couple months.
I guess. That's not good. Talking about the AL West, if the Angels, because it's either going to go good for the Angels or it's going to go really, really bad for the Angels.
That's really how it'll be. It's really win the division or bust.
So, now you have Texas, with fielders coming back and, a lot of guys of their rotation is coming back. And they'll be ready to go. So
right, I don't think the Rangers are ready to win the division. Obviously, left field. Did you hear how many candidates they have vying for the starting job in left field?
No, I didn't. How many is there?
Would you like to take a guess?
So it's so many people for 3 spots.
No, it's for just the left field.
Oh, okay, just for left field. I'd say probably 3 or 4.
11.
11 people are vying for that left field spot?
Yeah, 11 people, and they listed all of the guys and what they bring.
Who's the best out of that, or who's probably going to get it?
The most notable name on that list is Ryan Ludwig.
Oh, jeez.
When the
nose... Oh, and that's not... I wouldn't even want him necessarily in left field for my team.
I think the guy who's going to get it is some guy, his last name starts with an R. It's like Rylu or Relu. It's like R-Y something.
Oh, yeah.
He batted
he's like a prospect.
Yeah, he batted 320 in August and September last year.
Yeah.
And, I don't think the Rangers are ready to win that division yet. They need some more prospects to get ready. Maybe next offseason get some, like a Justin Upton in free agency or Jason Hayward, someone like that, where really... It could be the Mariners. They had a great offseason acquiring J. Happ to solidify the rotation. They signed Nelson Cruz.
Yeah.
They're a young team that is really on the rise.
My early thought on the AL West is I think it'll probably be Seattle who wins it with either the Angels or Texas close behind and possibly Houston close behind. We'll have to see what they do because Houston kind of reminds me of the Marlins where they could have a breakout year this year. Maybe not. The Marlins more so than Houston, but I can sort of see them, being a lot more competitive.
Right. I mean, it really is up for grabs. Really, there aren't any divisions that you just can kind of say this year, oh yeah, this team's winning it. Where last year,
although I guess I'm pretty confident that the Nationals will win the NL East, but
I think the Marlins are such a huge sleeper in that they could possibly win it. Obviously, it depends.
Atlanta's not horrid, but
it all depends on the health of a lot of players for